Confabulation.
音の科学者グアムへ。
Chilling. What's going on? Quarantine, locked in the studio.
I know quarantine life, but thank you for being with me today. Uh,
Oh, of course, of course.
so
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. But
Mhm.
why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Who I am. All right, I'm Rellee A-Team, producer, consultant, corporate music or entertainment consultant. Um, what else am I? Investor, well, builder, real estate. I do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of things.
Entrepreneur.
Sowed my seeds and it's starting to grow. Yeah, I'm starting. I started sowed my seeds a long time ago and starting to reap. Been reaping musically, but now reaping in other areas and aspects of the related service of the entertainment industry and actually infrastructure.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw. I was looking at your bio, and you worked with some really successful artists back in the day. Mary J.
And
Blige
current, and current, and current.
and current, yes, and current.
I'm semi retired, but
No, I mean, listen, you're blessed and you're keeping it going. You worked with Notorious B.I.G., 50 Cent,
yeah,
Mary J. Blige,
yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Maxi Priest. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Um, who was your favorite person to work with back in the day?
Hmm.
Because I know some artists could be incredibly
I've I
difficult to work with, and some
I don't think I had a I don't think I've ever worked with a difficult artist. Like it's a process with me even working with an artist, and it comes back, it goes back to like where I started, Daddio. We get to know the artist before we even go in the studio, so it's a vibe. I think I had fun with every artist I worked with because it's fun. Like we know it's 90% business, 10% creative, but I don't think I've worked with an artist. And if I did work with an artist that was difficult, it didn't last long. Actually, there was one artist. There was one artist, and the working relationships. I actually sent the record company back their money.
what?
Yeah, I sent the record company back their money. There was one artist. There was one artist, and it wasn't to me directly. As a producer, there's levels. You have your record engineer, you have your mix engineer, you have your. I have my Al Cruz has always been my vocal producer. We work together, we write together, and we actually produce vocals together. And sometimes I leave the room, and there was an artist. I won't say the artist's name. It was a female artist, and I kind of overheard her disrespecting Al or questioning his because a lot of times it comes if I'm not in the studio, the artists want to do what they want to do. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And I try to position my team, the team of former beat makers turned producers. Like I was a beat maker coming up at 15. Um, I try to position them where they are able to produce as well, not just be beat makers or songwriters. So I trust to leave the room, or I could be at 10 different places at one time. There's times where I'm working on 3 different projects at the same time at a major studio, and there's 3 different rooms. So I've got to be able to leave a vocal producer in here to work with this artist, leave a beat maker in here to make a track with this artist, and be floating from room to room. At
yeah.
least that's the way it used to be, and it is at times. And this particular artist was disrespecting Al on the fact of questioning his knowledge. And every time I walked in the room, it was smiles. And I blew up. Rich Nice was actually in the studio with me. I don't know if you know Rich Nice. Trap Master's Rich Nice. Rich
Uh,
was actually in the studio, and Rich was like, he held his head. He was like, "Oh shit, he's about to blow," and I lost it. And I told her, "Get the fuck out my studio on my session."
was
And I
this
sent the record company back the money. Huh?
was this
I
the
won't say. I won't say. But if they watch this, they're gonna know who they are.
ah
But yeah, yeah. It was a real, like, I defend my team. You know what I'm saying?
yeah
I think the definition of being a leader, one of the things of being a leader, or is not, I wouldn't say boss, and I still wouldn't say partner, but being a leader when you have a team is being able to look to your team to give you the answers, because we don't have all the answers, you know. And the people that I work with, or I consider family, and as a team, they're professionals within their own right. They're great at what they do. So I trust to leave them to get a job done and come polish the job off if I need to polish the job. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I mean,
And that was though I think that was like the only time I've worked with a difficult artist.
that's amazing. That shows. I mean, that shows to your success in the business because
Mhm.
people talk about this business and they say it's so cutthroat and there's so many negative things to say and it's longevity comes with loyalty
But
and
I think this is the perfect time for us to think, you know what I'm saying, about what's next. Because we are technically, this is next. Because this is showing us we are something as serious as a virus, as serious as we have a global pandemic going on right now, can cripple industries, you know? So let's backtrack a little bit. You asked about how the music has changed. Creatively, creative art is art. Art is always going to be art. People acceptance of the art is always going to be looked at. I remember when I started making music, the older folks was like, "Oh, that's garbage. That's not this. That's this. That's that." I
yeah.
remember, I remember in the early parts, like when Shabba Ranks came out, and a lot of these artists came, you know, like Buju Banton, Shabba, Ninja Man.
Hmm.
Art, people were like, the older folks are like, "Oh, that is the slackness, and it's gotten more progressive." You know, it's gotten more progressive, and the youth, like the younger artists, like you have the Pop Smoke, God rest his soul. You have a lot of the mumble rappers. Pop wasn't a mumble rapper. Pop was actually a good MC. You have it just evolved, and it's something new. So I love it. I love the change because I was there to witness change, the genre change, how hip hop changed and evolved, how reggae and dancehall changed and evolved. And it's just something as an older producer, I could call myself an old school, old head now. Well, and I never look at like I don't really look at what anybody is doing as being not good. I just say, listen, that's dope. Continue doing what you're doing because the audience they're playing for is a whole different audience. And I would never try to make records for that audience because I think I've passed that. That's for me to empower somebody else younger than me to make those records. You know what I'm saying? Even though I can make a great record still, but to make those records for that particular age group. But I would say, like James Brown said it, there's 61 keys on the keyboard. Don't just stick to one.
Mm.
Be a little bit more musical. I've said that to a few artists, up and coming artists, and they actually took my advice. Have them try different things. Have them experience certain things. You know what I'm saying? Listen, experience different cultures of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What are some of your? Because what's your cultural background?
I'm Jamaican parentage, but I'm Jamaican. I was born in America, but I am Jamaican. I represent my culture.
Got it. And what haven't you worked with like Maxi Priest and some reggae artists?
Yeah, Egyptian Sex Love and Reggae album, Etana, Maxi, Morgan Heritage. What that Morgan Heritage, Jamari Morgan, Mr. Vegas. That's the whole list of artists. Joe Mercer Marley, Damian Marley.
What are some of your favorite reggae songs right now?
Right now, I wouldn't say songs. I would say artists. Younger artists, Chronic Law. I'm listening to a lot of Chronic Law. Jamil, But love Jamil as an artist.
I love Jamil too.
Um,
What is it about him? Because I was reading something about an artist that you're working with now, and he's kind of like looking to his content is more about like the physique of a beautiful woman and the return of a good man. Um, Tell me a
who's
little
that?
about that. I think I read it here. Is it? It says um, who performs cannot help expression. Okay, the physical. Um, Let me see. I read it here. But there's so many artists here listed, so it may have just been a few. It says Tifa, Spraga Benz.
Oh, that's the project. That's the album I had come out in February.
Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's an album I had to come out in February. It's a compilation album,
uh,
or they would call it a rhythm album in Jamaica, but in America they call it a compilation album. Um, Silent, Silent was co-produced by Paul Platinum from Platinum Kids and myself. Conceptual album. Um, it just lends to different tastes. It's actually you hear elements of the Whisper song from Yin Yang Twins in the Silent Project. We call it Silent Project. And the lead single on that was Tifa. She has a record called Man I Come Back about a man coming back to her. And Spraga Ben's Rubbery, talking about, all the plastic girls, the girls with not saying he's talking against them, it's just his preference, he like natural girls. And it's how many songs on that album? I think it's 10 or 12 songs on there, you know. And yeah, it's every song has is a roller coaster ride. So every song has a different content, but it's more sexual. It's more, you know what I'm saying? It's passion driven. Yeah.
mm. So what advice do you have for newcomers coming up? I mean, I know you mentioned that you told a couple of people, just keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, what advice do you have to them on the business end
Have your business together. Have your business together. If I didn't have my business together, I wouldn't be in a position where I am right now to even be having this interview. Or I wouldn't be in a position financially. You know what I'm saying? I've made smart moves. Um, have your business together. Dot all your I's, cross all your T's, have good business people. The more we go into streaming and there's something next coming, and we went from vinyl, we went from cassette, we went vinyl and cassette to CDs to MP3 to now streaming. It's getting more dangerous. Have your joint venture agreements done. You're working independent with producers where you co-own and masters, producers and artists the same. Make sure you have some kind of good business structure. If you're rolling with 10,000 people, make sure everybody around you has a job or a potential job. You know what I'm saying? Just handle your business. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here and give advice all day, but handling your business is the most important thing. Making sure, and if you don't understand the business, reach out to someone, I give a lot of people advice. People DM me on Instagram all day and I say, yo, shoot me a call. But whether the music is good or not, you know what I'm saying? Shoot
Mhm.
me a call. You know what I'm saying? Shoot me a text. All right, let's talk. Let's chop it up real quick.
What do you think?